Alright, Audi just dropped a new Q7 and Audi SQ7, pretty surprisingly to some people. And so we got the Audi sweatshirt back on. We're going to talk about all the good, the bad, and the ugly. And when I say the good, the bad, and the ugly, there are some things I don't like about this car, but I'm going to go over the general car first and do an overview and everything, and then I'll give you my opinions closer to the end of the video. So stick around if you want to hear those, because I think you'll find what I have to say interesting at the very least. Obviously, I'm an Audi fan, but there are things to critique. It's a special day when the Audi sweatshirt comes out. We got a new Audi to talk about. It's exciting. And a lot of people didn't know this car was coming, so I'm glad we can all talk about it now finally. And I thought it was interesting, not a lot of the big car YouTubers did anything about it. I think other than CarWow, everybody else was on the smaller side. So I want to teach my audience about it, and there's a lot of exciting stuff, so let's jump into it. And before we get too deep into the video, if you're not already subscribed to Exotics Anonymous, please subscribe. We're doing a lot of great stuff around here, and I'd love to hear what you have to say about this car. I've been talking to a lot of great subscribers lately in the comments. Keep jumping in and like the video for me, and let's get into it. All right, so Audi dropped the Q7 and the SQ7 at the exact same time, which is interesting because they don't always do that. For example, they dropped the new Audi A6 and we still haven't seen an S6 or an RS6. I find that interesting. The only reason I could think is there won't actually be anything above the SQ7, so I think we probably just got both of them at once. I don't think there's going to be an RSQ7. I'm sure there'll be an RSQ8 once the new Q8 comes out, but I think for the Q7 range, this is probably all we're going to get for now, especially with the SQ9 and Q9 right around the corner and apparently like a Maybach level trim of that. I don't think we'll see anything else for the Q7. Stay tuned for an SQ9 video. I've got that coming soon for you if you want to learn about all the different trims coming for that. But staying focused on the Q7 here, the car's been released. The looks are the only thing I would say people are really torn on at this time, we'll say, just not sure about yet. I think the car looks pretty good overall. I'm not sold on the giant projector beam headlights in the front of the car that are like two massive clear squares basically. That's the only part of it I find a little interesting. I think the car looks really good overall besides that. I like how the headlights are really sleek but also still have the nice Audi lights. The United States market is getting the matrix headlights for the first time ever. Previously all that stuff was coded out due to regulation, but I believe now we're going to get the full Audi headlights, which is great because you would have to take the car to someone that knew how to activate the matrix stuff for you, and it was a pain. And I think if you took the car to the dealer after that and they put some software update in the car, sometimes it would revert your headlight software, so kind of a mess. So it's great that that's, we're getting the full matrix headlights now. The lights do a lot in that car. They project things out on the ground. They're less so, I feel like they're not even headlights as much as they are like gimmick projectors almost. I don't want to say that, but like some of the stuff putting the blinker on the ground is a little silly, like because no one's going to know what that is really unless they have an Audi Q7. So I think design-wise, the lights are controversial. Other than that, my first thought on this car was it looks a lot like a Mercedes GLS to me. Like even the side profile is like almost identical, which is a good thing. I think the GLS is great looking, probably the best looking of the big SUVs versus that and the BMW X7. And I think this Audi, if you took the front off a GLS and put this front on it, it's pretty much the car we got, which I think is a good thing. And I think it made BMW have to work even harder on this next gen X7 to compete with these two now, because I think Audi just put them on notice. And Mercedes as well, because they just did a GLS refresh and it's not really a whole new GLS or anything yet, even though they kind of said it was. So I think this Q7 was more impressive than a lot of people were expecting. So exterior looks great. I'll get into specific features in a little bit, so stick around until we get to that because there's some really cool stuff on this car I think other cars should be doing. Let's talk about powertrains. So in the United States, we're going to get a 2.9 liter V6 that makes 429 horsepower. Sounds very similar to me of the engine of the prior gen RS5 that we just said goodbye to. Basically the exact same horsepower, size, engine, everything. And then the SQ7 is getting the 4 liter V8 still. Previous gen SQ7 made 500 horsepower. Now we're up to 591, which if you're a keen Audi fan, you'll notice is the same horsepower as the original RSQ8. Not the RSQ8 Performance, but the standard RSQ8. So we basically got an RSQ8 engine in an SQ7, which is great. In Europe, they have a diesel V6 as well. I think it makes like 300 horsepower. So we definitely got the better powertrains here in the US. Sorry to any European followers. Okay, so engine and powertrain we just covered. Why don't we talk about quickly the features on the outside of the car that I think other manufacturers really should learn from if they're not doing this already. For example, the self-opening tailgate in the back that you can kick your foot to activate. They put a light on the ground to show you where to put your foot to actually hit the sensor, because anyone who's ever tried to do that knows the hardest thing is finding the spot in your car to kick to make the thing open. Great feature. I don't know why more companies don't do that already. That's awesome. Another thing, like when you're opening the door, the puddle lights on the ground where maybe your car might say Audi right now or something like that. This one illuminates the ground like based on how much of the door you have open and really illuminates a lot of it. Really cool. And the taillights do some trick things with the blinkers to like let people know you're opening your door, stuff like that. Those are all great features. They're both safe and fun to have. So that's really great stuff on the exterior. The projector headlights, like I said, a little gimmicky, but I guess it's good that they can display the blinkers on the ground. They can do like light shows on the wall in front of you. I don't know, I have no idea, I'm just guessing here. Maybe you could like hook up a movie somehow and watch a movie on the wall in front of you. That'd be really cool if they could make something like that happen. Almost like set up your own drive-in movie theater anywhere. I'm gonna look into that if that's true, because that'd be really cool. If not, Audi, I just give you a great idea. Just don't forget about me if it works. Now let's start getting inside the car. So something really cool I noticed right off the bat, when you get in the car, not only do the doors kind of assist you when you open them, like if you hit that electric button, it should help open the door for you. When you sit down and press the brake pedal as the driver, it will close the door for you. And from the driver's seat, you can close all the other doors through the screen. Screens are a topic in this car we'll get to in a moment. And when you go to get out of the car, you press the button on the door because it's an electric opening button. That's not like a traditional pull handle anymore, but the door does open itself when you press the button, so you don't actually have to do it after you hit the button, which is a nice feature, I have to say, especially if you have like a little kid who maybe it's hard for them to open a door like that. It would help. Very nice luxury feature. That's something you expect on like a Rolls Royce. Now you're getting it on your standard Q7 and of course the SQ7. Most of these features I'm going to talk about are going to be on the Q7 and the SQ7. If something's specific to one or the other, I'll tell you, but pretty much everything is optional on the Q7 other than the engine. That comes standard on the SQ7 is what I've learned so far. Now that you're in the car, let's talk about what you see and what's around you. First good thing I'm going to say, the sunroof, not only does it look like it has like that LED lighting in it, which is really cool, can make colors, patterns, whatever, it does look like it still opens, which is great because a lot of these higher end cars, even some of Audi's other models, you can't open your panoramic sunroof anymore. It's just like one solid piece of glass that you can dim with like that whole electrochromatic feature. I don't like that. I want the sunroof to be able to open in some degree, and this one looks like it can, so great job on that, Audi. Please make the new RS6 sedan do that, because I'd be very disappointed if you can't open the sunroof in that car. The other good thing I have to say about the interior, the quality looks really good in this one. The seats have this beautiful looking quilting on them, even in the standard Q7 seats, which I don't know if those are the S-line seats and they showed them because they're more pretty, and if there's like a comfort seat below that that isn't shown yet. But the seats look awesome. The shape is great. They look really padded. They have lighting in the seat. I'm sure they're heated, cooled, and massaging like the last generation. This interior looks like a real step up in terms of quality and the attention to detail from the prior gen Q7 and SQ7. So nothing but good things to say about how everything looks. That wood, I know everyone's saying it looks nice, but I have a feeling when you touch it, it doesn't feel great. The dashboard does look a little like plasticky and piano blacky to me in some parts that, just from my own experience with Audi models of recent years, I bet won't feel great. But I think in like a nicely equipped SQ7 with the carbon fiber inlays and everything, it'll feel really nice. And this is Exotic Anonymous after all. We want the S and RS trims in our channel. That's about where the good stops on the interior, to be honest with you. So interior quality looks high. Let's get into some of the gripe. The new Audi steering wheel shape is terrible, and they know it. Everyone's been saying it. It's not that hard for them to change, I'm sure. They got to go back to a flat on the bottom steering wheel and then round everywhere else, or just round all around, because this flat hexagon, I don't know what to call it, shape is not good. Very upset by it, and I hope that they can resolve it before some of the more special models come out, like an RS6 sedan that's coming, an RSQ8 that I'm sure is coming. Please put a better steering wheel back in the cars. And also, I noticed this car has the haptic buttons on the steering wheel still, where Audi said like 5 months ago they're going to go back to regular buttons on the wheel. I feel like that's a change that should have happened by now. So that's a little concerning for me. The other thing I don't like at all is that new Audi twin displays. They're too big. There's too much like bezel space on them. It should be either all screen or you got to bring the bezels down. It looks like a screen that would have been acceptable in, say, like a 2014 Hyundai. It should not be in a 2027 Audi $100,000 SUV. The Mercedes screens from 8 years ago were far better than these. I don't know what they're doing or what they're thinking. The steering wheel's bad and the screens are bad, and those are the two things you interact with the most. So Audi, shame on you for that. I love your brand. I love your cars. I own one. This is not good. And you guys should know this. You shouldn't need me and every other YouTuber to tell you that the screens are not a good setup in these cars recently. The steering wheel's a weird shape. You should have buttons on the wheel. And you have to use the screen to change the air conditioning vents. I thought everybody figured out in 2017 that was a bad idea when Porsche did it in their Panamera and the Cayenne. How are we still doing this in 27? These things are unacceptable. And I feel like there's a lot of small things like this that are still kind of plaguing Audi and some of the other VW cars right now. And this is coming from a huge Audi fanboy. I'm just very upset. I want these cars to be how they were in 2015, you know? Everything was perfect. Now, these stupid mistakes are holding these cars back from being the greatest, thing ever made. It's really good. I really like how the car looks, other than the big projector things. I think those could have been integrated a little better. The steering wheel is just so bad, and that's what you interact with. And the same with the screens in front of you. Even the graphics on the screens are just bland. Like, at least the old Audi digital displays were unique looking, exciting, like they felt, like a fighter jet almost, or a really sporty vibe to them. Now this one almost feels like they took like a base skin and didn't give it any Audi features or Audi skin look at all. So the graphics display, the screens themselves need to become, you know, sleeker and lower, because I feel like they're too high up the dashboard as well. And my last complaint about the Q7 interior is that new gear selector stock. What are we doing? Like, we're going backwards on gear selector stocks now too. Audi's had such a nice gear selector situation the last like decade. It changed slightly on this last gen Q7, Q8, where you had to like tap it instead of really pulling it like you used to on, say, like a 2013 car. But even the like tapping it one was better. Now we get like this weird wiggle stock thing. It's even worse than the one Mercedes used that also made it into the Teslas, where you have to like press the button and push the stock down. This is just like a weird, this is literally the same thing that's in a current day Hyundai. Like if you go get a Hyundai Santa Fe, it's the same thing. Obviously, maybe not the same manufacturer, but it looks identical. You really want that in your $100,000 flagship SUV? Like, I don't know what we're doing here. One good thing in the interior I forgot to mention, it's got wireless MagSafe phone charger, so the phone won't slide around and stuff while you're driving. If you ever tried to use one of those wireless chargers in any of these sports cars, as soon as you actually use the sports car part of the car, the phone's no longer making good contact with the charging pad. So having a MagSafe one that holds it in position, that's a good idea. And that's the type of stuff I think Audi can do better than anyone when they put their mind to it. And they should probably straighten out some of these other ridiculous issues and do more stuff like that. Last thing on just the car itself. It's available in a 5, 6, or 7 layout. I believe you can get 2 captain's chairs and then you go into the back for the other 2 seats, or you can just have the bench. That's how you get to the 6 or the 7 layout. So that's good. And let's talk about pricing now. So official US pricing hasn't been released yet. The last gen Q7 started in the mid 60s. So I would imagine this one's definitely going to start with the 7, if not closer to an 8. And the SQ7 will probably start with the 1, because I think the last one started in the low 90s. And I know they were spec'd up all at least 105, 110. So I'd be pretty surprised if you're getting out the door for less than 100 with this new one, probably 115 with options. So the cars are more expensive. They get a lot of new tech. They're definitely priced slightly higher than the current BMW X5 and Mercedes GLE. As they should be, I guess it's newer, and Audis have always been a little more expensive than BMW, at least. They're not always more expensive than Mercedes, depending on the model. But I do think overall, this is probably a better car. Unless you're really going to nitpick certain things, like if you're a diehard Audi fan like me and the screens and the steering wheel don't do it for you, if you're just a regular person that wants a big family SUV, this is probably the nicest family luxury SUV you can buy right now without going to something that's ultra luxurious. I think it's got more features than the BMW, will ride better, softer and everything. I think it's probably got more features than the Mercedes and the BMW combined at this moment. And it looks really good overall. And if the interior stuff doesn't bother you, then there's nothing wrong with this car. I think it's actually got a lot of great features, and I really do like it, despite, you know, some of the things I've pointed out that are definitely wrong with it from an enthusiast standpoint. But from a normal everyday person standpoint, which is probably who's buying most of the Q7s at least, SQ7 people are going to want some of these things fixed for sure. I think it's a great package overall. It's going to be expensive, but everything is getting expensive, unfortunately. And if we're being honest, in 3 years, they'll be half the price. So that's my Exotics Anonymous recap of the new Q7 and SQ7. I've actually been lucky to spend a lot of time with the current SQ7 and SQ8, and I was a big fan of both of the new SQ7 and SQ8s, and so I'm excited to see this new SQ7. I'm sure we'll see a new SQ8 and Q8 in the near distant future, and these cars are probably going to be what future generation Bentayga is based off of, probably future generation Urus, so it's great. We're getting a pretty good starting point. I mean, this is a great starting point, so I can't wait to see where the brand goes from here. Thanks again for watching today's Exotics Anonymous video. Go check out any other videos on my channel. There's plenty of Audi stuff I've been doing recently, and a lot of other videos in general. So subscribe for me. I've got a really special video coming out this Sunday too, so stick around for that. Like the video, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.